With Gina.
The news with Gina Grad.
Well, some crazy footage released the last day or so. The U.S. Coast Guard released an incredibly insane video on Thursday of service members stopping a drug smuggling submarine in the Eastern Pacific Ocean last month. So I'll show you the video in a second. The semi-submerged vessel
build that wall.
Ignored demands, shouted in Spanish to stop, and a Coast Guardsman ultimately jumped on top and busted open the hatch. Inside were 5 smugglers, 17,000 pounds of cocaine. That's worth about $232 million. So the encounter took place on June 18th and was one of 14 drug smuggling vessels intercepted by the Coast Guard off of Mexico, Central and South America over the past 3 months. It's great footage. It's pretty good audio. This is what it looked like.
Let's
go! This is the Coast Guard chasing the submarine.
The sub is...
Give me hard to get on! Alto tu Paco!
He's yelling at a submarine?
Yeah.
That was my question, too. He did it a lot.
The sub's moving at a pretty good clip.
And watch this. He literally, he has like a body cam on.
It's a pit maneuver.
Jumps on it.
Whoa!
Pulls banging on the hatch. I don't...
Jesus, that's a real man.
Crazy, yeah.
I wouldn't get on the sub. I think it's like... You got a gun on this deck for a reason, right?
He's riding a sub like a drunk chick at a
Saddle Ranch.
The bull. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
So here's what's weird. Max Patton, now you got work. That thing looked like a sub, but it was not submerged. It was sort of half submerged. But it also had a big exhaust pipe going out the top of it, and it was moving pretty good. So subs back in the day, when they were underwater, they were diesel powered, I think, when they were above ground, but below, they had to go off batteries.
Okay.
Because you need oxygen to run a motor.
Yeah.
Engine. Sorry. You don't need oxygen to run a motor. Though some people say Detroit Motor City, but they're talking about Engine City, so it's
doesn't sound as good.
Interchangeable.
Yeah. Engetown.
Brian's grandma just said it's Detroit Engine City.
It's Detroit, like the original French.
So I believe, like in World War II, the subs were powered by batteries when they're 200 feet under the water. They don't have a snorkel. They got to get air. You can't run a car engine. You can't run an internal combustion engine without air. So these subs, this sub has this big like exhaust pipe going out the back of it. And I wonder if it's got batteries or it's just made to go along the surface and leave a small footprint in terms of radar. Right. But if it physically goes underwater and stays underwater, it should have batteries. And then it makes you wonder, well, if the Coast Guard's there, why not submerge?
Yeah.
Why not go underwater?
And seeing as how they caught 14 of them, I'm wondering if it can't be submerged. They're much easier to spot.
Yeah, so it's funny. It looks like a sub, but it's probably like a semi-submersible or something like that. Yeah. Diesel subs run propellers and generators that recharge. Yeah. Right. So they run the right. But when you're underwater, if you don't have a way to get oxygen, a long snorkel, you can't run an engine. So you have to run it on batteries.
That brings up a very simplistic and maybe uneducated question. How do submarines, the ones that like literally go underwater for a long period of time, how do they recycle the carbon dioxide given off by the sailors and make it breathable air?
I don't know that the old ones had that.
Well,
the new ones have scrubbers that literally make oxygen and scrub the carbon or whatever. But anyway, this is, I don't know what, something's, could you imagine if the border with Mexico and then their border with Central America and then eventually South America, what if that was just all Canada? We'd be living in better times. There's something about that narco state over there that we need to work out. They need to work out. Narco state means grift. Grift means no civilization. Like
everything for sale.
We always talk about what you need. Like, what does a nation need? It's like, well, they need water and they need resources. They need no, they need no grift. The grift the places that have the grift fail.
Right.
It just doesn't, whether you're small time paying off the cop who pulls you over, or big time you're paying off the official so he looks the other way
That's
with
why
the
you carry
drugs or
cash.
whatever that is. Right. It just, the nation cannot grow.
Right.
It cannot flourish. And for some reason, some nations are just sort of grift. I don't
Centric?
know. Yeah, they're grift-centric. Like, I, Japan is probably real light on grift, and the Netherlands is probably light on grift. I don't know why certain people, you'll see people just want to haggle, they want to get deals, they want to do things. It's like, it's in them, like certain dogs do certain things, and I don't, the handful of Armenian guys I've been exposed to want to do a deal all the time. Like there's that. Chinese probably do that. I don't know. Japanese, not so much. It seems weird to me that certain cultures are oriented that way, but they must figure out a way to get to the bottom of that because it'll never work. It'll never go on. They can never stop and repair themselves as long as that's the way they do business.
Yeah. By the way, because they're 5 minutes, it's worth mentioning, there's a great episode of Mike Rose, The Way I Heard It, called Coward of the Deep, about submarines, and I think you'll enjoy it.
So the nuke subs don't need any oxygen, so that they
for
can,
the engine.
Yeah, so they can. They don't. Yeah,
The humans would enjoy it.
They don't even have an engine, but they can just stay under for weeks at a time. They never need to go. They go under the poles.
It's amazing.
Wow.
That's insane,
That's
right?
amazing.
Yeah. I wouldn't even emotionally. The captain's like, "We're going underneath the pole." I'd be, let's go around the horn. Come on, it's so beautiful.
Open the hatch.
Yeah. You know that ride in Disneyland? That doesn't look like this. And the diesel ones they need oxygen to run up top. But Max Patter, do the diesels run off of diesel when they're up top? Or do they just run the generator off of diesel and they're still battery powered? That's a question.
Okay.
All right.
Now we're
Anyway.
talking.
Legal troubles mounting for R. Kelly. Late Thursday night in Chicago, federal agents arrested R. Kelly on sex trafficking charges. R. Kelly was hit with another 5 counts Friday morning, this time from the Eastern District of New York. He's accused of racketeering, forced labor, multiple violations of the Mann Act, that's taking a victim across state lines. The federal indictment repeats familiar details about victims who were held captive by the singer, required the girls to receive permission for anything, to eat, to relieve themselves, everything.
Well, now my fantasy bus stop, we have R. Kelly, we have this Epstein guy, and we have Al Franken. And they're all just sitting there drinking malt liquor out of a bag. Oh, man, wheels have come off the wagon.
Yeah.
What happened to you? And then Epstein tells his story in great detail about Fuck Island.
Yeah,
and
minors.
Then R. Kelly tells his in great detail. And then... And then Al Franken goes, I was doing a USO show, and one of my lady friends was in a flak jacket, and she fell asleep on a C-1 cargo plane, and I pretended to put my hands over where her boobies would be, though she was literally wearing a flak jacket.
You touched her breasts without her permission?
No, she had a flak jacket
Well, you
on.
still touched the flak jacket without permission.
Listen, R.
I appreciate you using my first name.
Was your dad a pirate? All right.
Robert.
Sorry.
No.
Oh.
So back in May he was arrested.
It's not just a sound.
And charged in Chicago on 11 counts of sexually abusing 4 women, 3 underage. He pleaded not guilty to that. So good luck, R. Kelly.
He got out of his voice what Michael Jackson got out of his voice and his moving. Like everyone's like, oh, Michael Jackson got all those rooms and kids. That guy can move. Yeah. That guy can move.
Put on this earth to entertain.
Yeah. R. Kelly's like same things. Like that guy's doing what to whom?
He's got the voice of an angel.
Oh, but we've heard
by
him.
God.
That guy sing. That guy can sing. Whether it's dunking a basketball or singing or dancing, or doing math equations in your head. If you're up to doing things with kids,
or losing a lot of weight and being a Subway spokesman,
right? Let's. Although that's part of the problem with Jared is he didn't do anything. We didn't have a lot of like R. Kelly and Michael Jackson. We had to go there was a whole steeping period for us. Like, hey, what's that guy doing sleeping with those 9-year-olds? He's not sleeping with all the 9-year-olds. He's got a couple of. He has what would you call a small bevy of 9-year-olds.
Harem, I guess. We want to go there.
Yeah, have you seen that guy move?
Oh, I think he's marrying Priscilla Presley.
You seen the video where he's singing about the rainforest?
Or Lisa Marie, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, he's got a secret room where he sleeps with 9-year-olds. But you see the moonwalk? You seen that move?
It's magical. It's majestic.
And then he spins and he grabs his hat and he lands in the same place
How's a
as he
human do
started.
it?
You know what I mean?
It's unbelievable.
He leans like the room's leaning over, but he never
Right.
falls.
Yeah, and then there's R. Kelly, who's got the young gals and everything. But with Jared, it was immediate. Like Jared. As soon as we heard something about Jared, it's like, fuck that formerly fat fuck. We guy didn't do shit anyway.
Burn him.
Like, get him out of here.
What did he ever do?
There's no.
Yeah.
With R and Michael, these are years. These are decades long.
Whispers. Documentaries.
We've known about R. Kelly for 14 years. We've just been like, yeah, but he sings.
14 years, Adam. 14.
18 years. But
Yeah.
it's
It was
just, we don't
justice was
really
swift with Jared.
super fast
Yeah.
with Jared. And no one's like, yeah, but you see that guy make a foot long?
He can put away a sandwich.
Everyone just went, yeah, fuck him, he's out.
Yeah.
He overstayed his welcome. We all sort of secretly didn't like him anyway because
No way.
all you did was not be fat.
Yeah.
That's not the moonwalk.
No.
The above water, the diesel recharges the sub generators. The propellers are entirely powered by the battery. Okay. So there you go. But they can run the diesel in charge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, TMZ reports that Floyd Mayweather is laughing at the idea of a rematch with Conor McGregor. As TMZ reported, McGregor publicly stated that he wants another crack at him because he knows what he did wrong in the first fight. He's convinced he can win the second time around. So when TMZ found Floyd out in L.A., TMZ asked if he was down for another fight with McGregor, and this was his response.
You know, Conor's manager came out saying he wants a rematch. Is that something you would you consider, champ? Would you consider a rematch?
Chorus of laughter.
Boy, these kids are some circus clowns. You know, they can't fuck with money, man. You know what it is, like I said before. The same lifestyle that I had when I was fighting, it's the same lifestyle that I got now. You know, they try to defeat me any kind of way. On the basketball court when it's not for the money. They try to lock me up. They try to say, they're going to keep coming my way. At the end of the day, I keep laughing, I keep living, I keep going to the bank.
It's just at 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not a Subaru owner, is he?
No, obviously not.
I love the sycophant crowd.
I do.
I love those dudes.
I know. They're like the opposite of Dr. Drew. Huh? That's confusing. Floyd is doing exactly what Floyd does to get a few zeros behind his paycheck if, in fact, he takes this gig. It's the lightest lifting for him. Now, there is something going on. Conor is 34. What's Conor, Max Zapata? Floyd's getting old. So every day that goes by, Floyd's skills diminish a little bit, because once you pass 40, it just starts to come undone a little bit. Well, look, if we can all agree that Floyd couldn't beat a guy when he's 60 and he's 41, then every week that goes by gets a little bit closer to the guy who couldn't beat the other guy. He couldn't beat the journeyman. If the journeyman was 28 and Floyd was 55, he couldn't beat the journeyman. So Floyd is 42 and Conor is 30.
Wow.
Every month this drags on, Floyd just a little notch, and Conor's fine at 30, 31, 32.
He could win a rematch if he tried.
Well, if they wanted to wait till Conor was 35 and Floyd was 47, he could probably beat him at that point, although Floyd would be real good at 47, but not what he was at 37 and not at 34. So there's that. Floyd is fighting a guy he can beat and he can get another $200 million or whatever. And the first fight was good enough that people would buy the pay-per-view and have an appetite for a rematch. And they will both hype the bejesus out of this. And this is the beginning part of the hype. This is
Floyd laughs it off.
Yeah,
yes,
it'll never happen.
this is this is the foreplay, or the courtship part, where Floyd's got to pretend like it's a joke. Him and his chorus of laughers laugh it off.
Greek chorus.
And at some point, the first domino's been knocked over. The next one will be Conor will say something super insulting about his kid or something like that, and Floyd will fire back, and then we'll see what we can build this into.
How tall are they? Because he seems rather diminutive.
Well,
there was also a 7.5-foot man sitting behind him.
There was only 7-foot men.
He has a bouncer behind him that's 6'8", but he's probably 5'8".
Huh. Okay.
Maybe he's 5'9".
Interesting.
Conor's 5'9", Floyd's 5'8". Jeez, how was I such a bad student? I don't.
That is the question.
It's more mystifying every time you bring it up.
It does. Every time I bring it up. I want to know. Remind me to go back to North Hollywood High and start yelling at people. What the fuck?
Chris, look that up.
Come on. I would have settled for C-. Would have been happy with a C-. All right.
So Ja Rule remains on the hook for allegedly defrauding thousands of Fyre Festival ticket buyers after pleading his case in front of a judge, according to TMZ. Ja Rule had filed a motion to dismiss the class action lawsuit filed by the ticket holders and attendees, in which they claim he lied through his teeth on social media posts when he was promoting this legendary festival that ended up being legendarily doomed. The good news for Ja Rule is the judge agreed with him that several of the allegedly fraudulent social media posts either could not be attributed to him or don't constitute fraud. So I'm imagining there was a bit of a needle threading there. However, the judge did rule the case can go forward based on one tweet. On April 27th.
I got to say this.
Yeah.
In the black crime department, first off, kudos to you, Ja Rule, for expanding.
Really,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
this is not a drive-by.
No.
You're bilking white people out of a bunch of cash for a fire, for a big festival. This is not. You know what I mean? When they talk about, it was a strong-arm robbery or drive-by or domestic violence. This is not that.
Yeah,
you're on the
untouchable.
You're welcome. You're moving into the white man's area of crime. And this is a step toward the light.
Good job.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes, you're absolutely right. So the one fatal flawed
Now, R.
tweet,
Kelly, you're pushing the whole movement
the whole
backwards.
back.
This man act.
Ja Rule's out here taking one step forward, taking 2 steps back.
Jack Johnson was charged for this in like 1909 or something for love.
Haven't we learned?
That's what I'm
That's not
saying. You're
progress.
going the wrong direction.
R, why can't you be more like Ja?
Yeah.
So the tweet that they're holding him, that they're hanging all of this on, is when he says, "The stage is set. In less than 24 hours, the first annual Fyre Festival begins. #Festival Life." Of course, that's not even close to what was happening.
24 hours is
the bands had already pulled out. And,
What year did Jack Johnson get charged with the Mann Act?
I think you're right. I think it was the 30s.
No, it was earlier.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was like, I said 1909, but it's
I
probably
thought
like
it was the
19.
30s.
It was probably more like the teens or the 20s.
1913.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you go.
It's an old act.
There you go, R. Why don't we
Barely 100 years later, and you haven't learned a lesson.
bring back Jim Crow and slavery and everything else at the rate
how
you're
you'd like
going,
it?
or you could join Ja in the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be
White
nice
collar.
if all those inner city kids in Chicago put down their guns and started picking up the phone and trying to bilk white people out of money?
Dare to dream.
Started posting on Instagram
Yeah.
about festivals
Posting
that never
about-
happened.
It was actually 1912. He was pardoned in 1913.
Oh. Yeah. Pretty progressive. Was like that Kim Kardashian's great-great-grandmother who showed up with a big ass and like got him pardoned?
Is that Teddy Roosevelt?
I don't know. Figure it out. But that's progressive, like pardoning a black dude
That's
in,
right.
in the teens.
Not popular.
Well,
All right.
Well, drivers, speaking of driving, pulled over and scrambled out of their vehicles when an armored truck's door accidentally swung open. This was on Interstate 285 last week.
Truck door.
Yes,
Sorry.
spilled everywhere. And sorry, I didn't. This from the other day. Dylan will grab it. Video shows dozens of drivers pulling over to the side of the road.
Woodrow Wilson.
In Dunwoody, Georgia, dashing everywhere for as much money as they could grab. Even a semi-trailer hauling timber pulls over to try and get in on the cash grab. Dunwoody Sergeant Robert Parsons estimated about $175,000 spilled onto the highway, but he is not encouraging people to keep it. In fact, he told local news,
What?
He said, those people who do not return this money, we have video, we have tag numbers, we have footage of people on the interstate. What we're asking the public to do is bring bring the money back. Don't make us come looking for you, because if we do that, you're going to get charged. And it is just flying all over the highway.
People have no fear of filming anymore. Like, I'm going to spit into this Gatorade and put it back on the shelf and put it on the internet. Like, we don't seem to have, and to be fair, we have a weird relationship with footage of crimes, because we have plenty of footage of like guys just, all the crowd just rushed into the electronics store and they're all stealing stereos and TV sets, and everyone's face is completely recognizable. And then at some point we go, well, let's let insurance handle this. And I'm always kind of watching going, I can see all these people, and this guy's carrying a TV set. Why don't we go to that, find that guy and go arrest him for something? It's like, it's good for CNN. But like when I was a kid, if you said there was a crime and then somebody filmed the crime and the person who committed the crime wasn't wearing a sock on their head, then you'd go, oh, good. Then we'll just go. That's that.
The promise of the Ring doorbell is sadly not delivering, because, like, if you're a member of, if you sign up for, like, Nextdoor, this website where people post, like, oh, this guy stole a package up. Here's video of a guy stealing a package up. Then no one ever gets there. It's just the guy will do it again the next day in another house.
Yeah, it's like
video evidence of stuff theft.
You tell the LAPD, like, this guy, he stole my computer, and this, and they're like, all right, well, good luck.
Sorry.
So
it's crazy.
I don't know. Right. So we thought, well, if somebody had a picture of the person that did the crime, but now we have videos of them engaging in it, and it's like, it's nothing we can do. So I'm not so sure there's much they could do.
Well, I'd imagine this is slightly easier since everyone's standing next to their car with a license plate.
Oh, it's not about ease. It's just about they want to burn calories. They'd rather have the cops hide behind the trees at the park and give Max Pat a ticket. But
light lifting.
I will tell you this. I would, if my car license plate was clearly visible and I gathered up $700, I would walk in $188 of
no
it.
way to prove what you took.
And just go, I
feel terrible.
I cleaned this up for you.
It's a lesson for my kids.
Yeah, take some leaves and put them in there.
That's good.
Don't do a round number like a $100.
Crisp.
Exactly. No, just have a bunch of that.
That's
Go
good.
turn it in. And that's like what you give to the boss. You do what's right.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what
your
I mean?
tithing.
What's his beak?
Yeah, that's it. And there's no way they could calculate that.
Yeah, that's smart. So speaking of...
By the way, armored trucks, do they just stuff them like a hamper full of cash and the door opens and money just blows out?
Like some kind
tied
of
down
system.
Yeah.
They have a bungee cord? How about you use some of that money and you swing by Home Depot and
Get some saran wrap.
Get some saran wrap.
Get some zip ties.
The door just opens and cash just goes scatters to the wind.
Yeah.
Wow, that was cash just blowing around.
Yeah. So speaking of filming people doing bad things, one person is getting charged. So what started as an apparent social media joke with the licking of everything, well, guess what? Jacksonville, Florida, a mother is in a lot of trouble. She's 30 years old, and she was charged with a felony. We're just showing her filming the daughter on Thursday for recording a video of her daughter licking a tongue depressor at the doctor's office
can't do that.
and putting it back in the container. This is at All About Kids Families Medical
All
Center.
About
Wait,
Kids.
Adam's the guy who stirs the coffee and puts it back.
That's right.
So-
That's right.
Sociopath.
She was being held without bail.
Hey, I love this planet.
She's charged with a
Just
consumer
hate the people on it.
tampering a consumer
Well,
product.
what if you really think about it? I take the little wooden stirrer out, if I do stir at the Starbucks. I stir my coffee with it, and I put it back in the thing. Now,
You care about turtles.
the coffee doesn't have anything on it.
That's cream and what are you stirring it for if it doesn't have anything on it?
Ooh. No, I mean, I
Got
haven't
him.
touched a coffee. I don't have any.
Not germs.
Whatever you're exposed to at the Starbucks, you're still exposed to with or without
I
me
gotcha.
and my coffee. So
Let me ask you this question. You're the guy like me who fluffs out the towel or the
I do
swimsuit.
put my fingers on it.
The swimsuit, the towel, and hang them to dry so they
Yes.
don't sit
that last night, yes.
clumped on the floor and collect mildew and mold, right? What do you think that porous stick is doing in the middle of that thing, aside from collecting cream and sugar and coffee and mildew and bugs? You don't think they're attracted to that shit?
Big scorpion on the end, you're waving around,
Torch.
lands in the
Little
lap
cricket.
of a special needs kid.
If someone pulls it out,
traumatized.
I'm eating the air.
Yeah, let's see. It's got coffee. Now, it does have some cream in it, thus the stick.
I don't need to tell you that a stick is very porous.
It's porous. The cream, I theoretically, if the cream were trace amounts of cream, but the cream could go bad if you left it there for a long enough period of time. Mm-hmm. I don't know how often they turn over those containers. Now, my fingers also touch it.
Right.
But then that's where your fingers would
I can't
touch
imagine
it
that's a big problem
as well. So if we would shake hands, then all bets
worse.
are off on that. I don't.
You change your ways?
No, I don't think it could make anyone practically make anyone sick. I also
someone lactose intolerant
on the next Adam and Drew show.
Well, if they're lactose intolerant, they probably wouldn't be stirring though. Maybe they just put sugar.
Almond milk.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, well, if they're lactose intolerant, they're not really lactose intolerant. It's up in their head. I don't know. There'd be trace amounts, I guess, on that stick. But then when the stick dried out, I don't feel like this is causing anyone any. I'm not doing
glad
it.
You justify
You're like
it.
a bandit.
I'm not trying to. No, listen to me.
You are justifying it.
Listen to me. Everything that I complain about is because it's fuckers who want to travel free with their dogs. It benefits them.
Right.
It's not. I don't complain about things where people don't benefit
You're
from
down
them.
one
They
stir.
just do it. I don't want to throw away a piece of wood that is still good, it's barely used, and it's not going to cause anybody anything. So I do that. And if I was like selling the stir sticks or something like that, I would come down very harshly on myself. It's as easy for me to throw it away. It's easier for me to throw it away, to do it that way. And I can be spotted putting it back, too. C-list celebrity trying to poison people.
Drum up some publicity.
Now, the tongue depressor lick, too, is not going to harm anyone either because it's just going to dry and that'll be that. But that's bad parenting. That is some bad parenting there, and that kid is going to end up, I'll guarantee that kid by the end of their lifetime, over-unders 8 frivolous lawsuits on like slip and falls and your bathroom didn't have a handicap bar on it and all that kind of stuff. That's the path you're sending. Not the righteous, noble path I'm sending my kids by putting the Starbucks stir stick back in there.
Okay,
they get replaced every hour of every morning?
Yeah, we just called Kalen, who worked at the Coffee Bean for years, and he says, they switched. It would empty out every hour during the morning rush.
Wait, you see people are using them; they're not replacing them, right? It's just gone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Put more in.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, so I'm a hero. I get it.
And by the way, this happened in Florida, and that infraction. What? I know, but guess what? That infraction in Florida somehow is a felony. So the video was first posted on this private Snapchat account, but of course it always goes viral. In the video, a sign says, "Please don't touch medical supplies, thank you." And then the caption for the Snapchat is, "Don't tell me how to live my life."
Ugh.
It's good.
I hate this mom.
It's the mom who is encouraging the kid to do it.
By the way, this thing where everyone's in fear, everyone feels threatened, or don't tell me. No one is telling you how to live your fucking life. We're just telling you what you can't do with our medical supplies.
Yeah.
We're getting way too much into this. I felt threatened, and I felt nobody, it's not about you.
Yeah.
Nobody's telling you how to live your life. We're bleeding into this zone of, it's like my truth, my life, my world. You're living in it. That's an insane statement to make. And I know they probably have half a tongue in their cheek, but maybe a dick. But either way, that's fucked up thinking. And let's not get another generation of Floridians that are living their life.
Yeah.
Ugh.
The best life.
Goddamn self. I am telling you, people, it's all connected to the self-esteem movement. This is all high self-esteem people. The criminals have high self-esteem. These people, I guarantee this white trash family from Florida has high self-esteem. It's not a good thing just to sort of graft self-esteem onto people just by virtue of being born. They have to fucking do shit and earn it, and then it's better.
I had a similar thought last night as I'm watching one of Christie's reality shows. I was like, it's no wonder that some of the reality stars burn out or can't handle the fame, because similarly, they have had fame grafted upon them, and they haven't developed the skills to deal, like a rock star, like a musician struggles for years normally before they get famous. Yeah. They work their way up, pay their dues.
Right. John Popper does not have high self-esteem. All right. What do you got? One more.
Enrique Iglesias has a little brother, sort of. He's 43 years old. His name's Javier Sanchez Santos. Enrique's 44. He joked last year
Was he in that sub?
Yeah, I think that's where they found him under the hatch. Enrique joked last year about his dad's reputation. He said, "Don't ask me how many brothers I have. I don't even know myself." A Spanish court ruled that
Julio Iglesias?
Julio, yeah. His dad. 75-year-old Julio Iglesias had this love child, if that's even a term we use anymore. A Portuguese dancer spent a romantic week with him in the 70s. 9 months later, she gave birth to Sanchez Santos. And ever since, she's tried to force a paternity test on him. He refused to provide DNA, but the judge decided this week that the ex-lover Maria Adite had enough credible evidence for this affair. Plus, her son looks a lot like him. And
To
Julio
all the girls
Iglesias,
I've loved before.
I know.
It's a confession.
so
It really
far,
is.
this is the 9th child that he has sired. And in order to prove he was the father, Maria did have to confess to cheating on her husband. And I think I read that Julio and this guy are like a week or two apart in their birthday.
9 times.
If you know what I mean.
Keeping it going.
Yeah.
South of the border. Yeah, he sung the song. Is he still performing and
Is he
doing
alive?
things? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he's currently refusing to provide DNA. So
It's the ultimate refusal. Dead.
Yeah, this guy. I don't know. Then what do you do? What's the one we know now? And there's Enrique. Is it Enrique?
Enrique Iglesias, yeah.
he's the son.
Is he need to be friends with this guy? See,
think
in my
so.
world,
Why?
I don't care if you're half whatever with whomever. I got a
Especially-
biological sister. I don't even
Yeah,
talk to
I
her.
was going to say, that's a low bar, yeah. Especially recently discovered.
Julio's 75.
Going
Is he in that
strong.
sub? I'm going to ask everyone with a Latin last name if they're in that sub. Could that sub go underwater? Do those subs have batteries? Or are they just trying to skim along the top like a low profile? And they have to, those are homemade subs.
Impressive.
It's a good,
Really?
You know-
Homemade?
DIY?
well, they,
Or like retrofitted from like an old...
I think they're homemade.
That's
They're
damn
not
impressive.
That
a
is
lot
pretty
of.
great.
There's not many navies have a sub. The sub is a big sub. It's not what they would do. I don't know how you buy a sub like on the black market. I think they build these things from scratch.
Wow.
I think these are like backyard subs. I would happily watch one of those. You know, like all those
Terrible sandwich joint.
all those backyard subs. I know all those shows where like all the mechanics are like arguing in the garage over the chopper build or
Right.
whatever. I would definitely watch a south of the border
Yeah.
sub build place. I think they build those. I think those are homemade subs. I don't know that the market. I mean, obviously, you're rich. You buy an airplane and you smuggle drugs. You don't make an airplane, but airplanes aren't like subs.
Yeah.
So I think those things are made.
Damn.
Impressive.
And I think the way they can make those subs is more the graft. I mean, somebody's got to look the other way. Sub's a pretty tough thing to you couldn't pull that off in Encino. You know, like you'd have an inspector from the building department. Like somebody would come by.
What you fellas doing?
What do you guys use this for?
Nothing. Not making a sub.
I'll tell you what we're not doing.
Tell you what we're not doing. Yeah.
A lot of them are custom made, but now newer ones are fully submersible, but most of them can't.
Most of them can't.
Yeah.
And they're all just kind of made from scratch, right?
Yeah, I'm seeing some pretty janky ones on Google here.
Man, it's Mary Mac and Monitor days over there. All right, let's bring it.
Whoa.
We're looking.
The hell is that?
We're looking at a homemade sub.
Is that
Yeah,
Dagobah?
they're just called narco submarines.
Yeah.
What are they used for?
Ink Incorporated?
I'm telling you, you didn't think Mexico or Honduras or Guatemala had a navy with a submarine, but they got a bunch of narco guys with submarines. It just shows you what people can do when you make things attractive to them.
Yeah.
Folks that are born in that part of the world are constructing submarines because we made them construct it.
They're unofficially the 9th biggest navy in the world.
That's right. All right, let's bring it home.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
I am struggling with my sexuality.
Dylan
Was the news.
Dylan, right?
You're a married man.
I know, Dylan. Easy now. The lady may be listening.